Hello. What you guys are watching now is an example of why you should always check your audio before you start a video. I made a 20-minute video only to realize that I had no audio at the end of it. So make sure you check your video and audio not once, not twice, but 3 times before you start a video. This has been an official AaronEBM message. Now enjoy the video.
Showtime!
With AaronEBM. It's been a while. I know. I've been on a little break. I needed some time to recharge. And while I was out recharging, I thought to myself, what could I do to bring you guys some extra value add? So I decided every now and again I give you guys a little bit of wisdom. So today I wanted to tell you, you and only you are in control of your limits. Nobody can tell you how far you can go. Nobody can tell you how hard you can push but you. We all heard that comparison is the thief of joy, but what you haven't heard all the time is that self-doubt is the thief of progress. So you need to be positive. Keep pushing forward at what you want to do. Keep positive people around you. It'll help you have an easier journey on the road to whatever goals you have set for yourself in life. Being that I know one or more of the people that are in this video, I am going to be very particular of the words that I'm saying, and I want to be as fair and as balanced as I can. So without further ado, let's get into today's video.
2 former Oklahoma police officers face first-degree manslaughter charges for killing a black man while responding to a 911 call for an alleged protective order violation in December. Kyle Kabelka charged ex-Lawton officers Robert Hinkle and Nathan Ronan in the death of a 29-year-old Quadri Sanders.
Hands! Down! I'm down.
Stay down!
I'm down. Roll over!
Hey.
Roll over! I'm down. Roll over! Down.
Roll over on your stomach!
I can't breathe.
Stomach! Hey, can you see this door?
I can't.
Okay.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Hey, we gotta
I'm back up. You go ahead.
We're gonna pull him back. Go ahead.
Get the door. I got him.
Okay. Y'all pull him out in the yard. Yep. Pull him out in the yard. Go ahead. Pull him out.
Got him.
Yep. Go ahead. Live farmer. Keep going back.
Yep. I got cuffs.
Okay. Nico, you got him?
Yep, I got him.
Hey, did Newhouse stay inside on that flyer?
I'll jump in with Nick's. I rode with him, so I might as well. Okay. You want to get me to the station?
Yeah.
Bag valve mask. Anybody?
What?
Bag valve mask.
No.
And Jeff Carr, founder of the Infinity Fellowship in Nashville, Tennessee. Michael Brown, former chair of DNC Finance Committee, based here in Washington, D.C. Glad to have all 3 of you here. This is what jumps out here on Macongo consistently. You see these, first of all, in the next hour, we're going to talk with Lee Merritt, who's the family attorney, about this case. But what happens in these cases all the time, so you see these officers now trying to respond, trying to save the man's life. Well, if you don't shoot somebody, then you're not going to have to actually do all of that. But you can also hear them trying to say that you see this, that you see that. And so clearly, the officers are unclear what they actually saw that led to the shooting.
You know, this as I was watching the whole thing, I couldn't help but think about Stephon Clark. You know, Sacramento was killed in his grandmother's grandparents' home right on the lawn, and it turned out he had a white eye.
Let's stop for a minute. From what you saw, do you believe that the shooting of the suspect that was in this video, do you believe that it was justified? Do you think it was excessive? You know, let me know in the comments.
iPhone, right? And these cops have this shoot first, ask questions later mentality. And not only did they shoot him the first time, while he's on the ground with the hands up as well. And then on top of that, dragging him like a dog. And we say things like drag like a dog, but quite honestly, they treat animals better than they treat us. And so at all levels, we see the lack of care for our community, the way they rush into the house. Everybody's a suspect, ready to shoot other people. Sounded like they almost shot the sergeant who was about to come up. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? There's thuggery involved in this, Roland. And one of the things we said last week when Reese was here, did an incredible job. We talked about the fact that when it comes to our community, it's never been black versus white, it's black versus blue.
All right, let me stop right there. See, this is why I don't like these one-sided panels. This whole thing begins to be very emotionally charged. Now, I'm not talking about this situation because I know there's a lot of emotions involved on all parties regarding this situation. But in general, when we have these panels, a lot of it is emotionally fueled. And before I began to just open my mind up to all sides and be the more balanced person that I am, was the same way. But the more I begin to sit back and play devil's advocate and put myself in different people's shoes, things begin to change. And like now, at first it was white versus black, and white cops don't care about black lives, and they might not. And I can tell people, how can you expect someone that is not from your area, does not know or have any empathy or any ties to your area? How do you expect them to treat you with the same level of well-being as the people they grow up around? Now, you would think that humanity would make someone do that, but that's not always the case. This is the real world. So instead of teaching our people not to be in law enforcement, not to be in politics because they're all shady or they're all crooks, instead of putting our people in positions, we shun them from doing that, and then you put your well-being, your life in the hands of people that you say don't care about you. It doesn't really make sense.
We don't care what color the officer is who's wearing that uniform. When it comes to our community, we get treated like third-class citizens. They slaughtered that man for the world to see, and they all need to pay. Facing 4 years is ridiculous. There needs to be a lot more, and just another reminder that this is why we need the George Floyd Policing Reform Act, because anything related to qualified immunity that might be thrown their way needs to be thrown out the door in addition to their careers.
And we keep seeing this over and over and over again, Michael. And this is the frustration, because you would think we were seeing on the going down. We're not. It's increasing.
And I think, as we've been saying on this panel and other panels in the past, every time we talk about this awful subject, and certainly thoughts and prayers to the family. Thoughts and prayers, though, aren't enough anymore. You need laws. You need legislation. And until, whether it's qualified immunity, whether it's putting their pensions on the table, there has to be something that makes them think twice first besides pulling the trigger of a weapon.
Now, here's where it begins to get gray and shady. It's very easy for someone to stand on the outside of law enforcement, on the outside of a person putting their life on the line every day, and tell them they need to think once, twice, 3 times before they decide to stop the assailant and to take their life ultimately. It's very easy to say that. You don't know how quick it is and how fast you have to think when your life is in danger. That's why I want to challenge these people. If they do not own firearms, if they do, great. If they don't, I suggest that they go to ranges, go put themselves in stressful scenarios where they're having to go in and out and around sides of buildings. And then when somebody comes out, then somebody comes from the back, and boom, you're dead. See, it's easy to put this out on people and say that you need to do all of this when they haven't been put in stressful, life endangering situations like that. So that's what kind of bothers me about these people on these panels. They're quick to say what somebody should do, but they're never been in the line to really grasp the severity of how quick you could lose your life.
Or why they don't pull a taser, or why don't they shoot at the lower extremities?
Now, I also agree with less than lethal ammunition, different ways and weaponry that can be used, but you won't get that with this defund the police thing. You guys remember defund the police. When you defund the police, all that money that they could have to put into these less than lethal avenues of neutralizing assailant goes to what? To bulletproof vests, bullets, and guns, because that's what they have. I'd much rather somebody have the money to get beanbags, paintball, pepper pellets, and all of that, why not shoot them in the legs, or why not shoot them somewhere else? There's a thing called center mass. Center mass is basically the heart, liver, lungs, kidney, spleen, middle area, the middle of the area where they are vital organs. They very well could pass away from getting shot there, but that is center mass, where they can stop a person. Shoot them anywhere under that, then it's maiming, and then your right to claim self-defense goes away, because your life couldn't have been in danger because you didn't shoot them, center mass. You shot them in the leg, so your life really wasn't in danger because you had the time to think and shoot them in the leg. You can't shoot them in the head because that's ultimately, life-ending area. Your brain, that's a vital, organ. One shot gone. You can't shoot them in the head. So what they do is teach you to shoot center mass, stop the assailant. You can't shoot them in the legs, But this is something that people love to talk about. Even I did. Even I said, why not? But if I shot somebody in the leg, or trying to stop them, ultimately they will say my life wasn't in danger because I shot them in the leg. I didn't shoot them anywhere else to stop them. That means I really wasn't in danger.
I mean, there just seem to be so many other options besides death, and especially when somebody's not armed. So until you put those two things, and remember, as a former public official, I remember how hard it was for people to go up against the police unions. No one wants to be called, oh, you're soft on crime, or the police union is not going to endorse you, and all that kind of stuff. And it makes it extremely difficult. That's why, obviously we've talked about this before too. As you know, I'm a supporter of the Biden-Harris administration.
Bruh.
One of the first things they should have done when they came in office was criminal justice reform with the George Floyd Act. That should have been the first thing to do. And clearly, as obviously momentum and the politics change and timing changes, it's not on the front burner anymore.
And it's not going to be on the front burner.
And this is the continuing frustration, Jeff. Unfortunately, we have yet to see it. And this is going to have an impact on the midterms, and they had no one to blame but themselves because it was not made a priority. No executive order. Now, I'm assuming they're waiting because in 11 days, it'll be the anniversary, the second anniversary of the death of George Floyd.
This is everybody's fault for continuing to vote Democrat every time with this same old-fashioned mindset, believing that they gonna set you free or deliver you from massa, and they get in there and they play on that. They play on your emotion, get you to vote them in. They come out, tap dance and give you chicken with hot sauce on it, get them in office, and then and you beg, hoping and that they will do something for you or sprinkle some crumbs out to you. And what happens? This often happens. A lot of times this is a no-win situation for police officers, because the only way anybody wins in this thing is when police go home in a body bag. Then it's okay, yeah, you died in a line of duty doing, the great work, being a hero, and then nobody cares about how the person that killed that officer got to the point that where he was at. So like I said, I try to do this thing as neutral as possible. I try to be as balanced as possible, and I've been on both sides. This is all for you guys to analyze. Let me know what you think. Was it justified? So I appreciate it, guys. You guys be safe out there. Thank you for coming by the channel again. If you like the content, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like on this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you won't miss any of this wonderful content. Until next time, everybody, I am out. Peace.